What? I don't know why at work they let me do it. What's good, YouTube? What's cracking lacking? We're already starting off bad. That's a trip at work. It lets me do it, but I don't know why. Right here, it's not letting me. I wonder why. Or what did I do wrong? What's good, my boy? What's cracking lacking? I was trying to do the live the other way, but it didn't let me for some odd reason. And at work, it lets me do it. I don't know why we're here. I must have pressed something wrong. Oh, well. What's good with you, my boy? What's cracking like it on this Fat Tuesday? Did you get it, babe? Oh, you did? Huh. Oh, I have to make moderators. This one, I haven't done that. There's a lot of things I haven't done. But what's going on in this fine Tuesday? Oh, that's right, my boy. Where do you work at? If you don't mind me asking. How's it there in Pasas where you're at? Feed me or what? Or you get a lot of chaos still? Hey, gracias, my boy. I appreciate it. You know, we just speak our mind right here. You know what I mean? Give our opinions on the desmadre, the voice of reason. I feel like more people come on the internet to like stir things up than to actually, you know, for a world that always claims that they want peace, a lot of people push negativity. I do services with my dad full time. Work. All right, that's right. That's cool, my boy. Tree service is you're like the ones that cut the trees or what? Like when they get too big or right? That's what that is, no? The ones that go with those big white cranes or whatever? And the security guard, oh, that's right. Damn, 200, my boys. Damn, you getting it in, homie. Getting that hustle on. Every day I'm hustling. Was that Rick Ross? I never liked Rick Ross music, to be honest. I don't even know how he got so popular. The internet wants drama instead of peace. Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, I feel like a lot of people come on here and talk about, like, positivity and peace and everything like that, but it be those very exact same individuals who don't watch stuff that has to do with peace. Like, they, like, instead they support the negativity instead. Would you ever collaborate with Zod? Maybe, I don't know. Due to the history of our neighborhoods, maybe not. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, it's been blown over, but you know what I mean? I don't know how individuals will still feel about it, you know. There's more weirdos on the internet than actual. No, yeah, there is. There's a lot of people that just pretend that they are, you know. They pretend that they're from the streets, but you know, just by like the way people leave comments and what they say, I could, you know, decipher who's really from the streets and who's not, you know. Because it's always the ones that claim that they know, or the ones that like are just trying a little bit too hard. Like you could tell that they got their clecha from like movies and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Or rap. But when they try to like apply like mob rules and mob related things to like street organization just because they're both considered gangsters. Or when they try to get somebody else's rules and apply them to every gang that's out there. I get that a lot. Nah, I don't, my boy. I want a dog. Sounds like squirt gun. I don't know, my boy. Yeah, individuals. There's a whole lot of pretending going on. That's for sure. Hey, whatever helps them sleep at night. You know that's the crazier part about it, because on the internet, like, you don't have to fake, you know, to have people supporting. Like, if you were just to be honest, like, if you were just to come on here and be like who you truly are and speak on like what you truly know, you'll still get people to support you and hear you out and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You'll still have people messing with you, right? So it blows my mind when they come on here and want to fake all the funk, you know. And it's like, bro, like, if you would have came honestly, bro, you would have had people still supporting you and all of that, bro. So, and if anything, respected you, right? Because now you may have support, but there's no respect, you know, because, you know, and clearly that's what they're aiming for. They want respect, you know. I know for a fact that that's what they want. They don't, a part of the money, because the money, you know, is another drawing, but one of their main drive is respect, because that's the reason why they always try to make themselves seem like they're tough or gangster or, you know, with the business, you know. That's the reason for that, you know. That's why they always tell stories where they're putting in work and everything, because they want to be seen as a tough person, you know. That's the only reason why that's done, you know what I mean? I mean, because those who really truly know you in real life already, they should already know that, right? So it's not to convince them people, right? And if you truly know how you are, so not to convince yourself. So the only other explanation is that you're trying to get people to see you in some type of way. That's the only reason why you're doing it. It's not because of the raza, because that does nothing for the raza. It's not because of nothing. There's no other explanation except that you want to be seen like this way. You want to be seen as tough. Why? I have no idea. I don't care less what people think about me on here, bro. You know what I mean? Like how's that really gonna hurt you? Like, I don't really think that they know how the truth works or reality works. Like, no, well, they're saying that I'm a weenie, but are you a weenie? No, entonces, what the hell, bro? See, it bothers people because that's how they truly see themselves, bro. That's why it gets them, you know. You know, people don't like to hear the truth, especially when they're doing something wrong, right? They want to shut it off, change the conversation and stuff like that, because the truth hurts. The ignorant YouTuber tends to stir drama and promote peace, just paycheck. Yeah, facts. A lot of people come on here and push fake peace. And you know, the audience is smarter than what people think, right? Especially when people are doing like lives. And lives is where you get to see people's true colors, right? You get to see like what they're truly about, because, you know, you could aggravate them, right, and get them to show their true colors. You know what I mean? That's why if you see a lot of videos that are out there of people, you know, biting themselves in the ass, it's always them, right, on their lives, because the audience knows how to irritate these people, right, and get them to show their true colors. And it's the more trippier part about it is that these individuals can't even see what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, but that's how big their egos have gotten, that when they're not able to see that, like, they're aggravating you in the comments, like they're trying to provoke you. They're trying to get you to respond in a certain way. Well, in an honest way, right? That's why especially they like it when they drink and everything like that, because then you're going to really get them with no filter, right? Yeah, all you have to do is be honest, bro. Be real. Like Like, so what if you didn't beat up like 50 people or like, you get what I'm saying? Like, dude, most YouTubers are narcissistic. Facts, bro. Facts. But see, that's the interesting part about it. And you know why I like to scope out conversations and stuff like that, especially when it comes to like off related topics, right? Things that have nothing to do with what they already have like scripted in their heads, right? And you get their true ideas because you know those ideas and how they feel about certain topics, it spills onto to everything else, right? Because it has to do with your overall personality, right? So if you're being negative or let's say perverted or something like that, and these are the topics, then it's gonna trickle down to everything else, and that's why it starts happening, especially on their lives, right? And then you start seeing people's true colors. Yeah, a lot of civilians do buy into the fake image. That's the thing that like catches my curiosity even more. Like why they're infatuated or why they believe these lies when they could clearly see that it's lies. You know, I have a few like theories on the reason for that. You know, you ever see you ever see nobody act like that just because someone has more status than an average person. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, they think because they have more fans or they get paid more, they think that that automatically makes them right about whatever they're talking about. Like they feel like no one could tell them differently, or that their response is not valid or their comment is not valid. Like why? Like who's this person with his 1,000 subscribers? Like what does that have to do with anything at all, bro? At all? Like no one's talking about you know pay rates here and you know proper you know popularity contests or nothing like that. Is so it's like you know, but it's crazy how they divert it like that. You know, like it's like some it's like okay, like so telling you that makes you feel like you're right now. Yeah, individual. See, but that kind of when we're talking about narcissistic, sociopath, psychopath, and like sexual sadist, those types of trauma are a little bit different than like um, let's say someone who suffers from anxiety or because they've had some traumatic event, right? Those those things are two different things, right? That's why they're seen as different, or why in these people's cases, you know, it's better off if they get like therapy and stuff like that, right? While this one is like, you know, you see them tend to commit crimes and end up getting arrested and end up getting sent to like a mental hospital or whatever, you know, because we still don't understand why certain individuals take that leap, you know, far beyond the average person, right? Because not everyone's a serial killer who's you know suffers some traumatic event, right? But you see that some people are more like sadistic than others, which is a trip. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I feel like in their lives maybe you know whoever they looked up to or whoever they idolized or praised, whatever, did never appreciated them, right? Like never really like recognized any of their achievements or accomplishments or anything like that, right? So in that sense, they grow up, you know, feeling, you know, not really like good at stuff and stuff like that. That's why, and now the internet gives them this opportunity, right? Or even them when they're just out there, you know, interacting with individuals, they have now the opportunity to just create a better life for themselves, right? And it makes them feel better, you know, about their overall situation, right? The human psyche is very crazy. It's crazy what we're able to trick our brain into seeing and believing just for you know a certain amount of time. Bless you. And it's crazy how hearing something, even like something like you never really recognize. I don't know if you guys have had that where you never really recognize something until you say it out loud or until you finally hear it and it hits you like, oh shit, like, yeah, what the hell? You know, it's crazy how sometimes we have to hear it. You know what I mean? But see, that's why when people say like in therapy, when people go to therapy, why can't they just tell you what's wrong with you? Like that's not how therapy works. It just can't tell you what's wrong with you. The whole point of it is to see what's happening, for you to realize what's happening, for you to come to the realization, not for them to tell you, you know, because then you're not gonna learn nothing from that. It's not gonna help you like that. You know, the whole point is is training you on how to ask questions and how to go about it, right? In order to get this person to realize now what's happening. That is when they'll finally like, you know, when it hits you like, oh shit, what the hell? And then that's when the healing could start, you know? That's why people be thinking like, now these people just want to take your money, like, you know, session after session. Why can't they just tell you like, well, that's not how it works, bro? It's like when somebody like you're looking for somebody's apology, you're not gonna go and tell them, hey, apologize to me, or tell them why they're apologizing, because then it's like, why accept that apology, bro? It's like, why do I have to tell you what you're doing wrong? You're supposed to know what you're doing wrong. If not, then what's the whole point if I tell you apologize for this? You know, you're not gonna accept that apology, you know, because you know that it's not sincere, because they don't even know what they're apologizing for. That you have to tell them. And that's why people be like, nah, well, fuck that. You should already know. That's why it gets them even more mad that you're not even able to see what we're talking about. Yeah, narcissists never take, yeah. Facts. But see, that's the thing though. A narcissist, even though he may act like he has everything under control and that he's winning in life, in all true reality, he's a miserable person who's unhappy, and who's even more mad that he knows deep down inside, he tricks himself, but deep down inside he knows that no one respects him, nobody likes him, and that he's scum. That's why to them it's so easy for them to like snake people and do people dirty without, you know, feeling anything, because to them it's like, well, fuck everybody anyways, because, you know, nobody respects me either way, so why should I care about them? Because deep down inside there, they know that, you know, people don't really fuck with them because they're trash. But it is mad. It does get me mad though, like when they do try to take advantage of people who are gullible, stuff like that, or who suffer from some kind of mental disorder. Because you do, you know, have a lot of dirtbags like that. Let's sing at home today. That's right, my boy. Chilling. That's right. What's good with you, Alex Jones? What's cracking like it? Have I ever been? Yes, here on YouTube, you know, if I was down for like fake beefs, fake internet beefs, and people, hey, go along with the story I'm gonna tell if you could vouch it for me, and I'm just like, nah, bro, nah. Oh, come on, you know what to do? Like, nah, bro, I'm not gonna do none of that. You know, some people got butthurt or whatever, but it's just like, bro, I'm not gonna fake beef and fake, you know, you're gonna tell the story and I'm gonna vouch for. Fuck that. I don't get down like that, my boy. And then when that has occurred with other YouTubers, I just cut ties like right off. Like I just like, you know, I don't even reply to them no more. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, because that already showed me the kind of person you are, bro. And you know, those are shit that people don't fuck with. Like when they come at me like that, I'm just like, and I have had a few on here who have came to me with these offers, you know, and I'm just like, you know, but at the same time, I'm not gonna put it out there and stuff like that because, you know, it's not made for the internet. Like I don't see what I would gain from that. You know what I mean? Like from putting that kind of stuff out there. Like even if it will show people to see people's true colors, but at the same time, it's like, well, people have to realize on their own. You know what I mean? I mean, I could even show them, but it's not gonna make a difference. You know. People will stop messing with them when they finally see for themselves what's happening, you know? Yeah. Neglected, yeah, for sure. For sure, that's one of the main factors when it comes to narcissists. Like in Donald Trump's case, look at his father never really, respected him like that. So it explains a lot of his behavior.
Hey, you just take the remote.
SF40. Yeah, I actually reacted to like 2 of his songs on my channel. Can a narcissist ever come back, or they screwed for life? They humbly take accountability for what they have. That's a tricky one. If a narcissist was to actually realize, his condition, right, and actually get therapy and medication for it, I feel like they could come back, right? But if they come to the realization themselves, right? Because see, it's kind of hard for a narcissist, right? Because they're so good at playing their part that you don't know whether they're being honest or, or they're lying. And at that point, they'll just have to accept how society has them like on a thin leash like that, because they only have themselves to blame for that. But I guess once they come to the realization, then I guess at that point it shouldn't even matter, right? If like they should kind of already understand that the reason why people have them on a thin leash is because of their actions. Oh my God. So I guess if they were truly be rehabilitated, then they would just muscle through that. Thoughts on gentrification? Depending what type of gentrification we're talking about. Like where it's just looking to improve your community, or the type of gentrification where it's looking to raise up the prices of everything there and to get these families out of those areas. Because there's a type of gentrification where they actually grab the funds and they actually fix up your guys' communities, right? But without raising the prices of stuff, but actually doing what the government's supposed to do, right? Fix your streets, put maybe more law enforcement, tax cuts, and stuff like that, right? To improve your guys' community, right? Maybe creating some after-school program, maybe for some kids, that way they're not in the streets and stuff like that. Stuff like that, right? Maybe some daycare centers for those families who really can't afford, but stuff like that, right? To improve your guys' community. Right, but without having to raise the prices of everything, like, other places that it's like they put all this new stuff, but they put stuff that, people around that they can't afford that, right? But see, that's the thing. That's the thing with America, though, that it doesn't realize, right? Because all that really does, though, is just grab. It makes one area nice, right? And they make this area nice. They make it expensive, so those families now move to a different location. And now that location becomes bad. So it's like they really just substitute one area for another area. Like, yeah, you may have fixed this city up, but now this city's fucked up.
What do you want me to do? Going back?
I mean, at one point, Palmdale and Lancaster and places like that was supposed to be for areas, because these areas got too expensive, right? That people could now afford these other places, right? But look what happened. Now these areas and cities over here are nice, but now look at Palmdale and Lancaster all fucked up.
Yeah. Shut up.
You know what I mean?
I do have mine.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that for sure, though. That's the thing, though. We're still trying to understand everything. Like everything's not 100 when it comes to the overall psyche of individuals. That's a beautiful thing about science. We learn every day.
Nasty now, no flavor.
Look at, there's some people who have schizophrenia, right? And there's medication that actually helps them, right? But there is some schizophrenics that the medication actually makes it worse, right? So that in itself already should show like how mentally wise that we're all different, right? I mean, medication in itself should already show that everyone's different, right? Yet everyone claims now we're all the same, or that people just need to get over it and stuff like that. Like yeah. Then why can't this person take the same medication as you, right? And mentally we're all the same, right? You know, that's the reason why there's some people, right, that do drugs and they end up going cuckoo, while some people do drugs and they could how can I say, they could, you know, live life fine, right? But that's because not everyone has the same mental. To think that everybody has the same mental capacity as you is outrageous. But see, that's how the world is run, though. The world really thinks that that we're all the same. Like, if I went through if I have had bad shit happen to me and I was able to get through it and muscle through it, then they should be able to do the same. Like, the ignorance of you to say that is wow. You know, some people just need, you know, some help and you know what I mean? They got dragged in the freeway?
It was, I guess it was still in Corona, but she crashed into something and she dragged away from it too.
Damn. People are crazy. Sometimes there's some things money can't put a price on the respected morals. Yeah. And that's a lot of, see, people think that, well, when you have money, who needs that? Or these people don't really need that. If that, just look at Michael Jackson and all. As a matter of fact, just look at any musician, right? Or these celebrities. They still do drugs, right? You see them getting arrested for drugs and alcohol, and you see them still hanging around with people that they probably shouldn't be hanging around with. And it's like, with all the money in the world that you have and able to buy yourself whatever you want, you're still hanging around with criminals. You're still doing illegal activity and still doing drugs and all this and that. And you know, people do those things to escape the reality, right? To numb the overall situation. And it's like, you have the money to buy yourself everything, yet you're still unhappy. You know what I mean?
So that cop car tried to go through the tree or hit the tree and got stuck.
The cop car got stuck in a tree? Damn.
Oh my god.
It's crazy? Yeah, it sounds like she was driving crazy, and it's a female. Ow.
She was able to run across the freeway and run into a Denny's.
She ran across the freeway? Damn. She more thug than the guys. The guys would have just gave up.
She was babe.
Do you believe people can truly change? I believe people can change depending, right? Since we still don't know why, like, let's say chomos and pedophiles do what they do, or sexual sadists or psychopaths, since we fully don't understand overall how their brains work, I can't really say for sure if someone could change or not, right? Because, like I said, we truly don't understand. But from what we know of right now, of what we know is that they can't change. They can't. So the fact that they still let them out of jail is wild, bro. You know? And you see it time after time again. They release these individuals from prison, and as soon as they only could be out for 2 weeks, they get caught again recording little kids or some shit like that. And it's like, why do you release them?
Babe, you using the charger?
No. And you know why the sentences are lenient on them is because society really truly sees nothing wrong with what they do, bro. That's the sicker part about the things. Without therapy and medication, just being humble. Others just a change in places.
What, bro?
Medication isn't for everyone. It isn't. It isn't. And that is a perfect example of why we're not all the same. But see, I feel like a lot of people are, even themselves, right? Like maybe they have a positive way of looking at things, right? Maybe they're not as like bad as these people. Yeah, you may not be a narcissist, but you have an ego to you, right? That's the reason why, just because you're able to do things, you expect others to be able to do the same accomplishment as you, right?
So they be driving and walking people's driveways and hitting cars and all of that.
I mean, even when you go to school, right, and you guys all take tests, right? You see that there's some kids that exceed, more than others, right? Like they're just able to grab the information just a little bit more easier than other people, right? Or you have some kids that are prodigies, right? They graduate college like at 12 years old. I should already show you that people are born with different types of mental, right? The mentality on people are different, right? And how they grasp information, how they're able to cope with things. That already shows you that we are all different in this, right? But yet everybody still want everyone to act the same as others, right? Like put them on the same playing field.
Yo, mom, is this so good?
You see that there's some kids like they don't even have to study, my boy, and they go in and they get straight A's and everything. And this person, is actually literally, like studying and working hard, whatever. And he barely, gets those grades. And this person slacking off all the time, but he seems to just like ace it like that. And it's like, what the hell? I mean, we are all different genetically wise. I mean, look at Michael Jordan. He was able to stay in the air longer than others. His vertical was, exceeded others, right? He was born genetically gifted, right? Like, the wingspan on him, like other people, yeah, you could put in the effort and become a good player, but you still don't have his wingspan and his vertical. So you're still going to be at a disadvantage. And there's nothing you could do about that. He genetically was just born like that. You know what I mean? Like was like the I don't know if it was Popovich or who said it, but he said, like, I think it was like a Steph Curry, right? Like a good point guard with good like skills. Like if a point guard comes in here with excellent talent, he will still not be better than if a big man came here with excellent talent, right? Like he may be better than like your average center, right? Like Steph Curry would probably be able to ball up the average centers. But if a big center came in who had his skills, then Steph Curry would be at a disadvantage. Just because genetically this person was born with an advantage. You know what I mean? Or you say like women UFC fighters, right? They can beat up a lot of the men out there, right? But you grab the strongest, UFC woman fighter and put her up against the strongest male UFC fighter, then she's at a disadvantage. You know what I mean? Yeah, averagely she may be able to beat a majority of men, but against the best of the same now, that she's at a disadvantage.
When we pick her
and that's genetics.
Babe, I'm gonna take a shot. Okay. Lock the screen. I don't care.
Or why we're able to why we're not able to understand, like, let's say how maybe some people feel about certain things, right? Like maybe they have an item, whether a CD, a song, a movie, whatever, that holds some significant value to this person, right? And other people be like, let's say that item gets lost or whatever, and these people are now, it's like you're losing something that you like, whatever. People are like, what's the big deal? It's just a movie, or it's just a game, or it's just a picture or whatever. Who cares? No, that's because that meant something to that individual. You know what I mean? He held some kind of emotional attachment to that thing, right? To you, it may be like, well, I have lost plenty of movies or whatever the hell, and I don't flip out like that. Yeah, it's because we're not all the same though, bro. And we have to be able to understand that everyone's just different and like that, right? Instead of trying to like critique people or tell people to get over shit, like, well, you don't know what that thing or how they feel about that, to be saying something as like oh, just get over it. Like, you don't know what that means to that individual. But people are just like, well, like, because you want everyone to feel and react like how you react, but that's not how the world works, bro. I want to say at work, everyone's different. Some are dumb and others. That's a different. Some people just have a like a. Oh, jokes though. I know why it could be frustrating, though. I know, trust me, I know why it could be frustrating. But I think the frustration comes because society has embedded in us to see things like that, and that's why we get frustrated overall on things, right? Because we were shown that we have to be frustrated by things like that. You know, and it has shown, and people have seen it throughout history, right? When there's a father who's a dictator, right, or prejudice or racist or whatever, right? And he implants that in the kid, and the kid grows up, you know, feeling the exact same way, right? If he is, you know, shown, you know, to behave like this or whatever, right? It's how a lot of kingdoms were, or empires before, right, were able to stay in power, right? And they had all these, you know, evil rulers who enslaved their people and massacred their people. Oh, like North Korea, for example. That's a perfect example, right? The son is just as bad as the dad was, you know, because he was shown to be like that. Because kids are not born like that, you know, they're shown to be like that. Well, I don't know if people know about like the North Korean president and his father, whatever, you know, or the grandfather who was worse than both of them. Like the fact that they live in a country where they're starved and everything is like everything they do is being controlled by, you know, what the government is, and everyone still falls in line without rebelling. It's crazy, bro. Like those people, there's only 4 haircuts that they could get, right? And they're only allowed at this time from this time, and it's insane, bro. Like imagine living life like that, bro. And they think that they have it lovely. It's like, fuck. But that goes to show the power that, you know, deception has on individuals. Yeah, well, Mike's wrong right there, eh? You know, genetically wise, yeah. You know what I mean? I could see from where you're coming from, bro, because even though there is, well, look at raza, you know, we tend to be, even though there's tall individuals that are raza, whatever, normally we're not as tall as, you know, blacks or whatever, and whites, although they may be born as big as, like, let's say blacks are, they don't have like the same vertical or wingspan that they do, you know what I mean? So yeah, you know, that's a trip. I never bothered to see it from that point of view, because genetically wise, black people are born with a bigger wingspan and a higher vertical than the average, right? Like they jump higher and stuff like that. And that's not like, oh man, that's a conspiracy or whatever. Like, no, that's scientifically proven, bro. I'm saying as an average, not to say that, oh, there isn't white people that jump as high as black people. I'm saying averagely wise, there's more black people that jump higher than white people. You know what I mean? Or any other ethnicity. Because obviously you're going to get Mexicans who are born that are tall and that could jump and everything, but we're talking about overall, in general. That's why you hardly see no Mexicans that are in the NBA. Look, a lot of there is basketball teams in Mexico, right? And there is people that grow up and wanting to be basketball players who are Mexicans, right? It's just that we're at such a disadvantage genetically wise that they're just not, you know? That's why you don't see no Well, there has been Mexican NBA players, but that nobody knows though. Like they bench people. I listen to Mr. Doctor a lot. I actually like Mr. Doctor. X-rated was so. Like out of Sacktown, I listened to Mr. Doctor, Brother Lynch, Sibo. Um, but that's about it, you know. But I do hear rap from like northern rappers like, Richie Rich, Selly Cell, RBL, Too Short, obviously. E40, Spice One. Well, E40 is like so. I wasn't really truly a big fan of E40. Spice One. My favorite out of that area will have to be Richie Rich and Selly Cell though, and Mr. Doctor. There he is now. That's right. Shout out to Colorado. Yeah, Sacktown music was banging. They had a lot of good artists back then, and it was like a different flavor than even the black rappers from down here, right? Like Too Short, Eddie Cell, and all of them were bringing a more different sound than like Daz, Corrupt, and Warren G, and people like that. Yeah, I was never really a big fan of E40's music. I'm not gonna lie. The lingo was just too much for me. I'm not gonna say that it was whack or whatever. It was just like I really couldn't relate to it or whatever. I couldn't really, dig into it. Yeah, Brother Lynch was sick. What height is tall for Raza? Like 6'5", 6'6". That's probably like, damn, homie's tall. Because normally, I mean, there's Raza that gets like 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2". You know what I mean? But normally we always stay around the 5'10", 5'11", 5'9"-ish, por ahí. But like I said, but that's genetically wise the world. What do you think about Jay-Z? I don't. His music was I really don't see the big hype that Jay-Z gets. I really don't. I'm not here to hate on him. It's just that he had some songs that were cool. I think what it is for me. Jay-Z was too mellow for me. Like growing up, I was more into like aggressive rap, right? Like more about the desmadre and what the woo, right? So that mellow music, I really didn't feel it. Like that whole mellow music was just not for me. I was more into the shooting and I can only be real, bro. Oh, I like Nas. See, Nas for me, I think what it did for Nas for me, even though his music's mellow too, I think when Nas, the message he was putting in there was like some real shit, right? Like although Jay-Z was talking about more like chilling and everything, Nas was talking about like real subjects that really made sense, right? Like stuff that was actually occurring and really, could have you relating to what you actually see. I think his music made you think more, right? While Jay-Z just made you feel cool. Nas music actually it actually sparked, some thoughts in you, Like when you're just right there chilling and like, hey, you know what, this was right, while Jay-Z just making you feel like mellowed out right there. So. Well, genetically wise, that probably, that's a lot, well, most likely if a tall person hooks up with a tall person, their child's most likely going to grow up to be tall, That's not luck. Those are facts. So there is that. I mean, it's crazy that you could get humans and breed them the same as animals, right? Like if you get a big size, let's say pig, and you made it with another big size pig, their kids are most likely going to come out larger than the rest of the pigs, and that's how people used to how they grow the food and how they able to get animals so big, right? They grab the biggest and then they made it with the biggest, and that's how they do it, right? And it's funny that you could do the same with humans. Well, that humans do the same with humans. It's fascinating. You know, a lot of the things, a lot of the ideas that we come up with, right? Like technology for stuff, or like why we're able to do it, is just by humans just like just staring, just looking at life, just observing life, right? And how animals, like, damn, I wonder what makes the animal fly the way it flies, right? And then getting to study, you know, how they're able to do that, and you know, sparks the idea to like how we created airplanes and shit like that. I feel like the homies young, more old school rap than mainstream rap. Yeah, but that's because of a part of the behavior of individuals, right? A lot of people, you know, a lot of those are bad behavior that people just don't tolerate, you know, behaviors like that. Like they get annoying after a while. But more than that, maybe because we kind of tell them that, oh, that kind of music kind of whack. We kind of play our music around them, that they just, you know, the reason why they do have some songs from the old school that they actually listen to. Because, you know, overall, even if you were to get an item right now, like let's say right now you buy an item that you like, right? But if you have an item that holds some emotional attachment from the old school, you're probably gonna prefer the old school item than the new school item, just because it holds some significant value to you, you know? So if we gravitate to more to the things that we already know, right, and we have memories with, right, that most likely is going to influence your pick, or when you decide what's good or what's not good, or you know, or what people should like or shouldn't like, right? Most big fools are big sucking. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I seen that a lot, bro. I seen that a lot. I seen homies like big as fuck, all blasted. I seen them on their knees, my boy, begging for their life, getting their heads, you know, in the toilets, you know, and we're busted, right? And big, dude. We're talking about big bottles, you know what I mean? And the biggest cowards, though, you know. So yeah, you know, size sometimes doesn't mean anything. Like, see, a lot of things. What happens a lot is that a lot of times big dudes go their life with just intimidating people with their size, right? Nobody wants to smoke with them, right? Because how big they are, right? So they grow up not really ever getting into fights, right? They're just used to stepping up to somebody, that person backing down, right? And that's pretty much how they wiggle through, right? Compared to someone who's actually maybe more smaller, who probably people try to pick on him, that he had to literally fight, you know, all the time, that he's already experienced. So, I mean, the experience is going to play a big factor when it comes to throwing blows, right? So this guy may be big as hell, but has never gotten in a fight. This guy may be small, but has gotten into all kinds of fights. Then yeah, most likely the smaller guy's probably going to win because of the experience of things, right? Because when you throw a fight, you see that everything happens fast, and there's, you know, if you're not really used to it, it gives you, or it's your first time, it really gives you no time to think, right? So everything is just happening. You're just reacting, right? Compared to someone who already has gotten into a lot of fights, they already know the overall feeling. So they're able to think while they fight, you know? And that's gonna play a big factor in overall, you know? That's where the experience comes in, because you're able to think now while you're actually, you know, doing battle. Compared to this person who's just reacting on pure adrenaline and his instincts, you know what I mean? I mean, that's one of the things that Mike Tyson said, you know, when he was fighting, right, that people would try to pick on him because of his size, or people used to use his size to put him at a disadvantage, right? Like, and he said that they used to get him mad and stuff like that, right? And he was looking to make a statement. And he made one hell of a statement, right? Because, you know, in his class, right, in heavyweight, he was small for a heavyweight, right? All the other heavyweights Mike Tyson was fighting were way bigger than him, right? But Mike Tyson was rocking fools, you see, and a lot of these fools had like 4 inches over Mike Tyson, 5 inches over Mike Tyson. He was laying fools out. Like, if you go look at those Mike Tyson fights, bro, those heavyweights are way bigger than Mike Tyson, bro. But Mike Tyson was laying fools out. You know, that's why a lot of people, you know, they see this, man, I'm gonna knock this fool out. And then they used to catch that damn uppercut from him, and it was like, what the? Like, huh? Cortezes and Reeboks for me. Those are the only shoes I wear. Like, if my Cortezes and Reeboks get messed up, I just go get the exact same pair all over again. Like, I never own a pair of Jordans and none of that. Not because, you can't afford them, whatever. It's just that they never really they don't catch my attention at all. And I think it's absurd paying $100 and something for a shoe. Like, why? When this shoe is going to do the same exact thing that shoe is going to do, so why would I pay that much money more for that pair of shoe? Like, but they're Jordans. Like, man, the hell does that have to do with anything? I don't give a damn if it's freaking Jesus himself, bro. Like, okay, I'm gonna put some Jordans on, spend all this money and put them on. Then what's gonna happen? Like, I get to say I have Jordans? But what is that gonna do for me, though? I mean, I just blew all this money, so now, like, maybe if, like, they made me fly, or, I don't know, maybe they made me faster or something, then all right, I'll drop some bread on them. But if they're gonna just do the same shit that this pair of shoes is gonna do, then I really don't see why I would spend that much money on those shoes for. And that's not being a cheapskate. I'm just trying to find the rational sense of why to drop that amount of money, because overall, visually, it doesn't catch my attention more than the others. So, unless, you know, for the bragging rights, but like I said, I really don't care for those things. So, I know there's people on here that they like to put on, especially when they're about to do a video, they make sure that they grab all their jewelry, put it on. You know, every single finger must have a ring on it for some odd reason. Like, they gotta just be looking like that, like my boy, what are you doing? Like, why do you feel the need to do that? Or when fools take off their shirts and all that, make sure that, you know, everyone can see their tatas and everything. Like, damn, my boy, you sure you don't want to hold the AK-47 while you're doing this video? Maybe some Lokes on? Bandana? I just be tripping out. And it's always like a video where they're responding to somebody's beef or something like that. They gotta make sure that they really submitting it into people that they mean business. Like, damn, my boy, you know what? I wouldn't have never took you seriously if you didn't have your shirt on and that gun and everything. Yeah, hell yeah. Bro, I remember before, bro, when we didn't have no belts, like the belts would rip, whatever. We used to get the trash bags or shoelaces. Yeah, we didn't have no money to afford no belt, my boy. You homies had the money for fucking belts, my boy. Shit, you're lucky you were even able to pay rent, homie. Homies made it work with the shit that they had, with the little that they had, bro. They made it work. Cause you didn't have much, homie. There was nothing, bro. Like, when they say that you guys were in the struggles, cause y'all were really in the struggle, bro. Yeah, I remember you used to go to school. I didn't have no backpack for it. I used to take the market bags. The market bags? Yeah, that was the backpack, my boy. Yeah, I remember going to elementary with, you know, the fucking bags, and fools used to try to clown, and, you know, I used to get my boogie on, and then I would get in trouble. It's rare. Like, when I do have shirts like this or whatever, like Dodgers or something like that, it's because, like, I see them at DD's or Ross or Marshall's for like $3, my boy. $5, then I get them for sure. All my shit I get from DD's, Marshalls, and Ross, my boy. I never spend no more than, I'm not even lying to you guys, I never spend more than like $10 on my t-shirt, homie. I get a 3 for $10, you know, $2.99, $3.99. Hell yeah, my boy. The only thing I drop money on, though, I'm not gonna lie, is my Ben Davis, Cortezes, and my jerseys. Because I collect sports jerseys, right? I have like every team, like basketball, football, because I like sports, right? So I collect them. So that's the only thing I blow my money on, and that's only because it has some symbolic value to me. You know what I mean? Because of I feel like maybe growing up, sports is probably the only thing that like brought me some peace at mind. You know what I mean? Like the only time there was bonding time and shit like that, right? So it holds some value to me, right? And that's probably why I invest in that or am willing to spend money on that. Said I have some pretty nice titties. Hey, but see, I could watch people like that, but just because it's so real though, right? Like they're not worried about what people will think, and because already when you're worried about everything else, then this person's not gonna come authentic, bro. Then this person's just gonna come off in a way that he thinks that the audience wants to see. You know what I mean? So then it's not authentic, bro. Then it's not real, bro. This shit is an act, bro. And that's one thing I don't like. I don't like when things come off like that. Like, damn, you're gonna go to the store like that? Like, well, shit, they're not going on a date, my boy. They're not there to fucking, find the love of their life or whatever. They're there to fucking buy an item, homie. No mames. See, people want to be looked a certain type of way. That's fine. They want to be perceived as some type of way because they're not comfortable over on who they truly are. Oh yeah, when you're a fan of stuff, of course, you know what I mean. When you're a fan of stuff, you gonna drop it, Marshall, CJ Mack, yeah, my boy. That's where I get all my shit, my boy. That's where I go shopping, homie. No lie. God bless Didi's and Marshalls and Ross. My boy, you're able to buy earbuds. I have earbuds, my boy, like the wireless earbuds. I got them for like $4.99, my boy. Nah, like $5.99, homie. No lie. Wireless earbuds, my boy. And there's people that have the, what are they called? The Apple whatever crap. AirPods. There you go. They have the AirPods, my boy. My shit is louder. I'm able to answer phone calls. My shit does shit that theirs doesn't do, and I only pay like $5, my boy. And these people drop 2 bills, 3 bills, man. Like y'all being played, but then you want to be flossing that around like if it's supposed to mean something, bro. Like their defense is like, oh well, mine are still Apple though. Like, and what's that have to do with anything? You're paying for the person's name, my boy. That's what you're doing. The bragging right to say that you own that person. Do you have something with that person's name on it? Because if you look up to see how much Jordan shoes cost, like how much it takes to actually, how much money they actually spend in order to make a Jordan shoe, and how much they charge you, you would be like furious. I'm not even lying. When I seen that, I was like, are these fools being serious? But here's one thing that I'll say though. Michael Jordan doesn't have nothing to do with that, right? He had even came out an interview, old interview, right? He said that if it was up to him, he would sell the shoe at a cheaper price, right? He didn't feel that it was right that they were selling the shoe for as much as they were selling it for, right? Because he grew up poor and and all that, right? But see, Jordan had no control over that. You signed the contract, my boy, so you just get the paycheck and that's it. Like you're bye-bye, shoe fly. They have the right to use your name and whenever you need to promote it and stuff like that, but you don't have no say-so on how much they charge or anything like that, right? So even though he felt that type of way, you can feel the way you signed the contract, my boy, and now you're screwed. It's kind of like you sign the property, like you create a show or something like that. You sign the property right to somebody else. Right now, this person could do whatever the hell they want with your TV show. Hey, that's not what my show was about, or that's not what. Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you created it, my boy, but you signed the rights over it, homie. So it don't matter how you feel now. And you just kind of have to. You just get the paycheck, and that's it, bro. That's anything you can do now. That's why I appreciate what Shaq did, right? Shaq, created his own shoe, and he made sure that you know, he didn't send it over, right? Because he wanted to sell his shoe like in Payless and Walmart's because he knew a lot of people couldn't afford, you know, shoes like that. It's not because, don't think because nobody wanted to sign Shaq, like Shaq couldn't go get a deal with Adidas or Reeboks or nothing like that. Nah, because Shaq knew that a lot of these families couldn't afford, you know, shoes like that, homie, that this fool decided to, you know, sell his shoes cheap at places where he knows that people could afford them. And I know that that wasn't a gimmick or an act, you know, that he was being sincere, you know, because till this day, his shoes still hasn't, like, you know, he hasn't raised the prices or made it like, you know, out of reach for people. And he already built his brand. So it's not to say that, oh, it's not because his name is not there because he's well known, whatever. Is he legitimately kept it like that because he knows the struggle of individuals? That already shows a lot about that man's character. Because if he really wanted to, his name is big enough that he could have just raised the prices and actually go sign with Adidas and Nike and all those places and made it difficult for these people, but he didn't. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, bro. Like, I don't give a damn how the person looks or whatever, bro. If this person's speaking on some real shit, on facts, and if it's facts, my boy, everything else is irrelevant, homie. There's people that come and looked all blinged out, you know, balling, they looked all swag with it, but they ain't saying a goddamn thing, bro. They ain't saying a damn thing, homie. So, and just polluting the youth, if anything. So it's like, you know, what good is all that, bro? But see, these are individuals who think that that's how the world should work or how the world works. You know what I mean? They feel like their money and all that, and that they could just pull the blanket on people. In general. So you don't think being a gangster is taking care of business, is taking care of your loved ones? Nah, being a gangster is sheerly is it's taking care of like yourself, right? Like your overall neighborhood, protection of your neighborhood. This has nothing to do with like loved ones and stuff like that, bro. Nah, if they say that they do this because they're looking after their loved ones, no, that's a goddamn lie, bro. It has nothing to do with your loved ones. Because remember, at an older age now, and they get older, yeah, they may see it now because their mentality's changed, right? That they see that they're looking there to protect the family, right? But in overall, the reason why they join and the things that they do from the gates has nothing to do with family and none of that, bro. It has to do with just these individuals releasing their anger and frustration, bro, on society. Because they feel like it's only right? If I have to be, you know, stuck like this, you know, going through all of this, then why should I care about what, you know, how people have it, right? Then people are going to feel my pain, right? Why should I give a fuck about others when others don't give a fuck about me? That's the mentality.
He had it open. He had it open and he had this, like, one slide, like.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, Bennington, too, yeah. Yeah, taking care of family as a man, bro, that has nothing to do with gangster, bro. That's, you know. It bothers me when people say that that's gangster. Like, taking care of family is gangster. Going to work is gangster. That's not gangster. That's being a man. And why would you want to associate something positive with something negative and think like you're doing something right? Like, yeah. Before I used to get clowned for not having much like others, and I would hurt people. You know what I mean? I used to hurt a lot of people, bro, and I used to get in trouble a lot. I kicked out of a lot of schools. I didn't even make it past the ninth grade, my boy. You know, because I kept getting kicked out of everything just because I'm educated now, but before I was a fool, reading and all that and educating. That was no time for that, bro. That's I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. I was not trying to hear none of that shit. You know, now I'm educated now, you know what I mean? But that's in my older years, you know what I mean? But in my early days, nah, bro. In my early days, you couldn't tell me a goddamn thing, bro. You couldn't tell me a damn thing, bro. I was right about everything. and shit was gonna go down just because I felt like it was gonna go down. Oh yeah, I was an asshole, bro. And still in person, I'm not as rational as I am online, right? Because online, like, if someone irritates me, I can't physically get to them, right? But in person, that's the thing that I'm trying to change, right? Or the thing that I'm trying to understand about myself, right? Like trying to control myself, right? Because in person is like I could physically get to them, so things just escalate for me in person a lot faster or a lot quicker. You know what I mean? So I just want to hurt them, and it's like I black out or I just react. Like I don't know why. Like I'm, intelligent enough to see that it's inappropriate and it shouldn't happen, but I can't control the way or it just happens. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know why. I don't know why that happens, and that's what I'm trying to figure out about myself, or what I'm working on myself, right? To try to improve that. Because I really don't. People say, "Oh, just control yourself." Like I tried, bro. But I just don't know why I react the way I react. But hey, we're working on it, right? I mean, that's a part of life, right? You work on things, right? Because right here, it's like, okay, I can't get to them, so it's like, like I don't entertain it because, like, what for, But in person, it's like, okay, now I can physically hurt them, so it's like, it's different. I don't know. Someone put against you, someone who puts in work on a neighbor. Oh yeah, somebody, yeah. Yeah, like everyday people, like no ordinary people don't mean nothing, bro. They don't mean shit. Like I'm not gonna go and pick on someone who has nothing to do with the streets. Like I get nothing out of that. Like there's not they're irrelevant, bro. You know what I mean? To me, it's like finding the enemies. So that's the only way you're gonna put in work, or the only reason you get stripes and stuff like that is the enemies. Regular day civilians, you get nothing out of that, bro. Nothing. Why'd you sock them up, bro? They had nothing to do with nothing, bro. Like you only looked at like that shit was stupid, or so you're just burning the spot now, but you're not getting no points for that. Like this fool socked up some fools that didn't even bang. It looked like fucking guy, dude. Because you're not seen as tough for doing that. These fools wanted no action, my boy. They're just some regular dudes. You don't show up and be like, hey, I just socked up like 3 fools that didn't bang. You want to impress fool, you ran up to 3 enemies and socked them up. And then it's like, oh, hey, this fool did his thing. But on some regular people, should be seen as some kind of weenie shit as that. Because there's individuals, let me tell you, there's individuals who fake the part really good, right? They'll go and they'll tag, but never in the heart of the enemy's neighborhood. They'll hit up like around the area, right, to make it seem like they're putting in work. And they'll beat up some people who are not gang related, right? But they'll still beat them up, or shoot in the air or something like that to make it seem like these guys are putting in work. But in reality, they're not really doing nothing. This shit's all in that. You didn't roll up to the heart of the spot because you're scared that they were gonna be there. You were actually have to have no business. You didn't hit up fools that actually look gang related because you didn't want no problem, because you knew that these fools would have the funk back and you didn't want to deal with that. You shoot in there because you didn't really want to get busted. This shit is all fucking an act, bro. But some people do that shit, bro, and people buy into it, and it's like, nah, that shouldn't count for nothing, my boy. Was your mentality back then different than now? Oh yeah, big time different, bro. Back then I wouldn't even be able to stand myself. And now, talking to myself back then, I wouldn't be able to stand myself. I'll be like, man, you're so fucking ignorant, bro. I could already see myself, bro. I would probably put hands on myself. Sometimes there's 2 gangsters and 3 more couple, but it's the same body of family gang. I don't know. Gangster. Yeah, I feel you. Fact, shut up. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like I said, I have a friend. Yeah, it's like bro, you don't want to be associated with that, bro. You know what I mean? Like you're if anything, you're insulting the individual. Like you're calling him, like what people the low people of society, bro. Because in society's eyes, that's how the life is viewed. Because it is, around negativity. So when you were younger, did you hate norteños? Nah, my boy. I had no hate for norteños, my boy. I knew we didn't get along with the northerners or whatever, but that was it, bro. All the anger and everything was focused on the rivals that were around our neighborhood rivals, right? That's where all my anger and because those are the people that were coming in. I was getting jumped and all the desmadre that happened. It was being done by these individuals, right? The ones that were trying to take your life were these individuals, not those. I mean, there was no interaction. There was no. They never did they get brought up in conversations. They don't get brought up in like people don't just be like, "Hey, what do you think about this norte?" The conversations never get brought up because there's no reason why to talk about them, bro, at all. Like nobody ever mentions the word norteño down here, or ever you don't hear it. You don't talk about it. You just. You know what I mean? Like they had like nothing. Like they're completely absent. The only time people are reminded is when they come on the internet. That's it. That is like, oh yeah, there's Northsiders everywhere. So how are you gonna build up an anger and a hatred towards them? You know what I mean? Yeah, there is people that are from down here that they hate them a lot, right? And that's maybe because they were busted and when shit was grave, right? That or just the individuals that are just saying it because they think that that's what the Southsiders want to hear on here. So they don't really actually feel like that. They're just saying that because they think that that's what these fools want to hear, or that makes them more loyal to their grounds where they're at. Bro. When we already know words doesn't prove anything, bro. People only care about actions. They don't care about words. Right here, words ain't gonna get you nowhere. People don't care about who told you or what you gonna do. People don't want to hear what you're gonna do. That's why people don't ever talk about what they're gonna do, right? People don't want to see you right there. Hey, once we hit the yard, homie, I'm gonna handle this for them. People don't want to hear that, bro. You're only gonna get people mad and irritated if you do that shit. You don't want to hear that. Just do it. Do what you're gonna do. Just go and do what you're gonna do. Don't talk about what you're gonna do. Just go and do it. If people don't want to hear what you're gonna do, just go and do it. You know what I'm saying? Because all that is people just see it as like you're just trying to make yourself seem tough around, for us to see you as like you're down and witty, like, and that irritates people. Especially because in there, I mean, you don't really got, much, to go on. So when you hear people behaving like that, it just irritates you. I'm telling you, bro, a lot of people on here, the way they behave or what they say, sometimes it'd be like, I'm just like, yeah, it makes me question anything that they ever say. Hey, but it works for them, no? Again, it's because they're trying to claim a name of something that never wanted those tags. Like with regular day folks? Yeah, you get nothing out of like picking on people that are civilians. No, well, even back then, and I know it's because we made this mistake, right? We had one time we had catch an enemy sleeping, right? He was with his girl and his kid, right? And we roughed him up, you know what I mean? And we thought we did something, you know what I mean? We're like, yeah, man, we got it in, homies, smashed on that fool. So we got back to the block. We told the homies, we got a beat down, we got a calentada. And we're like, whoa, well, we put in work, my boy. Like, why are we in the hot seat, whatever it is? Like, well, you when people are with their family, you can't be doing that kind of shit. And so they'll give you a beating that way you don't forget to not ever make that mistake ever again, right? Because people are not impressed with that kind of shit. right? Because you got to respect people when they're with their families and their kids, and you know what I mean. You catch them when you catch them. There's a time and place for everything, right? Their family had nothing to do with it. Their kids have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Um, so when you see them with their family, you just let them be, right? They're there with the family. They're not there banging. You know, it's not like the guy was, right there banging or whatever. Now it makes sense, right? At the time, it was like, all right, cool. It wasn't like we had agreed with it, but it was just like, all right, well, those are the rules, so not to let it happen again or whatever. But it wasn't because we seemed like, all right, now it makes sense, right? But now, looking back, and it makes sense. But at the time, it was like, well, who cares if he was with his family? You know what I mean? Because you're young. But that's what the older homies are there for. They're there to put you on check. So I feel like maybe some of these youngsters maybe don't have their homies putting them on check. Or maybe their homies just are not doing their jobs. Because that's what the older homies are there for. The older homies are not there to put in work too and all that. They've been there, done that already, bro. They're there just to make sure that you fools are staying in line and not fucking up, bro. And to school you. They're there to provide the schooling. It's not like you're expecting these people to go out there and ride, bro. They're already old. They already did their thing. It's not for these fools to go out and make the name for themselves. These people just provide the lesson. Because when you're putting out work out there, you're putting in work with people that are roughly around your age. Those are the ones that are around you. Because gangs hang out like in groups like that. Like you're going to be riding and hanging around most likely with people that are roughly your age. The older homies hang out with the older homies. And then, there's times where the groups interact, right? But when people go out and do their thing, they normally go with the people that are roughly their age. Yeah, bro. Literally, anytime you go anywhere, you're always going to run into problems, bro. Facts. Yeah, bro, we knew nothing about them because I always told her, oh yeah, we just don't get along with them. That's it. That's it. That's it. You don't hear no insults or nothing. Like, people never talk about it, bro. Ever. And I mean never, bro. Like ever. Yeah, I feel like 2000s and the 90s was about the same. I would say it's about the same. I know maybe people maybe want to throw a little bit more hot sauce another way than another way, but that's about the same shit, bro. It just started getting a little bit more rougher because there was more cameras out there and the Huda was more on top of things, right? But it was about the same shit still, though. All right, folks. Well, we out. We gonna hit some dinner because we're already hungry.